Welcome back to the Distressed Princess and my Halloween crafting series. This is episode 4, High-End Halloween. If you're getting some inspiration and great ideas from my videos, then please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Today's episode is all about high-end Halloween. This is some great ideas on how to get those high-end, expensive looks without all the pricey price tags. And my first high-end Halloween DIY is with this mirror, which you may recognize from a spring episode. I never really cared much for what I did to this mirror, so it's a perfect candidate for makeover. I wanted to give this mirror an aged antique look. My inspiration for this project was from another YouTuber, and she has done such an excellent job with her Halloween crafting. She's blown me away, so I want to give her a shout out. Please go give this lady some love. Her name is Susan. I will link her channel in my description box and the video where she makes the mirror where I got my inspiration and my instructions to make this mirror. So the first step was to remove all of the hardware from the back of the mirror and try to pop the backing off without damaging it. To my surprise, after removing the backing, there was more hardware that was holding the mirror in. They didn't want this mirror to go anywhere, and the whole time that I was doing this, I was thinking, man, I wish they stashed a bunch of money behind the backing of this mirror. Wouldn't that be awesome? Or some really cool old artifact. But there was no money. I did find, however, a stamp on the back of the mirror that said American Mirror Company, and the date was 1965, so that's pretty cool. The next step is to strip the paint off the back side of the mirror, and Susan used citrus strip. I didn't have any of that, and I wasn't going to drive to town to get it, but I did have Easy Off oven cleaner, so I was really hoping that this little trick would work to remove this paint, same as I've used it for removing varnish off of wood before. So I gave it a heavy coat. I waited about 20 minutes and tested it, but it wasn't ready yet. So I sprayed more and waited an hour, and after that hour, this is what I came back to. It was easily scraping off with my plastic scraper. I will say, make sure whatever you're doing your scraping with does not have slots in it like this scraper does, because see how it's making kind of drag marks or lines down the middle? That shows up in my end project, so avoid using something like this. Susan actually used a piece of cardboard, and that worked great for her, so if cardboard's what you got, that's what you should use. Next, try to clean off that junk with just water. It's straight water in my water bottle, and I'm using a microfiber cloth from the Dollar Tree to try to clean off the back of this mirror a little. Now then comes the oxidizing phase, and this is where you'll need to add some bleach to your water. Susan used a 50-50 ratio at first, and then she put a little bit more bleach, so I did the same. Well, I started out with more bleach than water, so I would say 3/4 of the bottle is bleach, 1/4 of the bottle is water, and you're supposed to just spray it where you want that aged effect. And it pretty instantly begins working, and I believe that if you can put it in a sunny spot, it works faster. Then you take a damp paper towel or damp rag and wipe the bleach back away. And this is a process that you'll have to play around with and test out spots and see how you like it. Go back and do more, because I did it repeatedly. I did several times over. Periodically, I would check the front side of the mirror, and this is what you're looking for, little scratched parts that looks like light is coming through. When you have it aged as much as you want, then you need to rinse it with water, and I just used my water hose and left it outside for the sun to dry it. Back inside the house, and the mirror is all dry, and here is how she aged, and I think she's gorgeous in spite of those drag marks that was caused by my plastic scraper. Next, you flip it over, and you're supposed to paint the back whatever color you want to show through, which for me would be black. And Susan decided that she wasn't sure she would want to keep it black. She might want to do different colors later on. So she actually painted the backing of the mirror, the cardboard backing, instead of the mirror itself. But I knew I wanted to keep this as a Halloween decoration always. And so I went ahead and just painted right onto the back of the mirror using black chalkboard paint. This is how mine looked with just one coat of paint. I thought that was going to be just plenty. I didn't want to waste a second coat because I think that's going to be plenty dark enough to show through my mirror. And while that's drying, we need to work on the frame. Now, this frame, oh my goodness. Back in the spring, this frame actually started out gold. And I painted it white with green underneath. So green first and then white on top. And I have always thought that the green looked like mold in the little nooks and crannies of this frame, so I never did like it too much anyway. But now she's going to get painted with black chalk paint, and then she's going to get highlighted with gold paint. And this is my favorite gold paint to work with. It's by Folk Art. It is their enamels collection and metallic gold. And the reason I like this one better than other gold paints is because it's more of a true gold. It's not so yellowy. So with just a very, very little amount on the ends of your bristles, dry brush that onto whatever embellishments your frame may have. This frame actually, or this mirror, I picked up at Goodwill. So check your Goodwill, check your thrift stores, because you'll oftentimes find mirrors and picture frames with these embellishments already. She's gorgeous. I love her. I love her so much more now that she's black and gold instead of white and moldy green. Now the next step is to actually put your mirror back in, put your backing back on, and reassemble the whole mirror. And you just saved yourself a whole ton of money by doing it this way, because mirrors like these do not sell for cheap. I have a very special company I want to share with you today. It's called Evaless, and they were kind enough to send me some clothes to try on for you and let you know my thoughts. So I'll show you what I ordered from the website first, and then I'll show you what it looks like on me so you know exactly what you're getting. So I ordered this Halloween outfit, this top and bottom, and boy, do I love it. I am, for reference, 5'1", and I usually wear a size 14-16 pants and an extra large shirt. I was afraid ordering from a company like this I might need to size up, so I got all my shirts in 2X, but I really should have just gone with my normal size, extra large. I couldn't resist ordering some of their Halloween shoes. They have shoes for just about every occasion. They have sizing charts and measuring guides on their website for their shoes. I went a half size up and they fit just perfect. Here's another shirt that I got that I think I'm going to wear with my spider web jeans. All the tops that I ordered are made of polyester and elastin, and I was apprehensive about that, but I believe that it's going to turn out to be a good thing for me because they won't shrink, because I have a tendency to shrink my clothes. I also ordered an outfit that would be just for fall, that might be for Thanksgiving or out shopping, and I just love the prints. Are you seeing the prints on these jeans? And let me tell you something. These jeans, like I said, I am a 14-16. I ordered the extra large. They fit great, they are stretchy, and they are so comfortable. I really do feel so put together and cute in these outfits. And lastly, I ordered this spooky season ghost sweater. I was so excited to see what this was going to be like when I got it. and I was not disappointed. It has plenty of room. I was worried about it clinging to me, but it doesn't, and I'm very, very happy with it. Here's a look at some of their best sellers on their website. I am absolutely adoring all of their holiday clothing, but if you're not into dressing for holidays, they also have a lot of choices that are non-holiday. They are having a Christmas pre-sale, so if you want to get your hands on some really cute Christmas outfits, then go ahead and go to their website and check them out. There's a link in my description box below, along with a discount code. Now back to the high-end Halloween DIYs. And I think that a gallery wall, if you didn't notice when you saw how I hung my mirror, I had some other pictures up there with it. I think that's very chic looking, and for Halloween, I think the perfect portrait would be one of Edgar Allan Poe. He was a really big deal at Michael's this year. They made all kinds of Edgar Allan Poe accessories and decorations, but you know, if you don't get that stuff when it is hitting its sale price, then it's pretty expensive in my opinion. So if you notice the price tag, I got this frame, or this artwork actually, at a thrift store for $4. The back of it is perfect. It's already got the little tabs. All you gotta do is pop in some new artwork, take out the old, pop in the new, la-di-da. Oh, and paint the frame. So I sort of have a running theme of black and gold, so I did black and gold with this frame. And here's old Poe looking just as snarly as all get out in his portrait. And I just pulled this image up on Google. And when you're using Google Images, make sure that you're using public domain images, especially if you're going to sell your work, so that way you don't run into any copyright trouble. To complete my Halloween gallery wall, I wanted a smaller picture to go above Edgar Allan Poe, and I just Googled up an image. Actually, no, this one came from Canva. If you have the Canva program, there's another place to get your images, or create a Fabrica. There's just tons of places, but I just picked one of a skull under a tree reading a book. Continuing on with the black and gold theme that I have going here, I'm using this bowl that was $1 at the Family Dollar store. I know that they sell these at Dollar Tree too. So anyhow, this black bowl, and I'm going to use some of this Model Magic air dry clay to make snakes. Now, my original idea was to buy little rubber snakes from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store, but I couldn't find any, and I was going to paint them gold. So since I couldn't find any, well, that means I'm gonna have to make some. So it turns out it's not as hard as I thought. So you just roll out your dough and make a snake form out of it. And for the head, I just kind of smushed one end in, and it automatically just kind of made a little snout, a little triangle head, a little snout for the snake. And then as for the scales, I did two techniques. The first technique I used was to take a piece of wire and I twisted it up to make a loop, and then I pressed that loop into the clay, and that worked okay, but I was using floral wire and it was a little bendy. So then I came up with my second idea, which was to use a paper clip, which is way better. Start out with a paper clip, just one of the small regular paper clips, unless you're making a bigger snake. But yeah, that way you have two sizes on the paper clip actually. And because on a snake, as it tapers down his tail, his scales are going to get smaller. So I start out with the bigger end up near the head, and then the smaller end of the paper clip down toward his tail. And I used a toothpick to give him some nose holes, and I kind of drew in some little indentations where his eyes would be. And there you have it, clay snake. Just form them in whatever wiggly kind of snake pattern you want them to go on the bowl as, because we're going to attach these to the bowl. I don't know if I said that. And paint them gold or your color of choice. To attach them to the bowl, first I used hot glue, and that held them long enough that I knew that they were not going to hold, but just long enough to be able to hold them in place so that I can get some super glue up under there, and super glue is what's going to hold them better. Oh, this next one is a fun one. It's actually a Grandin Road dupe. I've had this on my list of things to try to dupe for a while now. Here is the price on Grandin Road. But we're going to make it with a package of $5 canvases and some spackle and a Google image of some bat wings. This is some spackle that I already had. I think it's about $5 at Walmart, and it goes from pink to white when it dries. And if I had to do it over, I would just get the cheap whatever from Dollar Tree, but this is what I already had on hand. And being that it wasn't as pink as I expected when I opened the lid, and it's not spreading very well, I think it's dried up just a smidge. Then I ditched my plastic scraper thing that I was trying to apply it with and just started using my hands. It's messy, it's gonna get all over, but it was a lot of fun to play around in this spackle, I'm not gonna lie. And so you just spread that all out all over your canvas, and the messier the better. You want a lot of texture. Allow your spackle to dry completely, and it should look something like this. And then we're going to give it some color, and the colors I chose to use are pewter gray, some black, and for a little skin-like color, a light mocha. And I made a little faux pas when I did my first pass with this paint. I should have really went lighter, and I thought I was going light enough. It wasn't light enough. You really, really, really want a dry brush. You don't really want this to look painted. You want it to look dirty. So just dab your brush into a little of each of those colors, blend it really well on your brush, and swipe that brush a few times on something, on your paper plate or whatever, before you even touch the canvas. And that way you'll avoid the mistake that I made, which I got a little too much color in some places on my first canvas. This second canvas is much better. This is more what you're going for. Now line your canvases up side by side because we're getting ready to apply the bat wings, but first we do have to cut them out. You can use whatever adhesive that you want to use. You're only going to glue down the back side. I'm using Mod Podge, but I'm not going to Mod Podge over the top of them. I'm only going to apply it to the back so my colors don't run. And I'm thinking this is a really great copy of the Grandin Road canvas that was costing $200 and something. And this DIY is a dupe for something that I found at the at-home store, and not so much high-end, I mean kind of high-end. They wanted $10 for these 2 little taper candles, and obviously all you need to do is paint a ghost face on some $1 taper candles from the dollar store, and they're really cute, so I think we all should do it. My furry helper tuckered out on me today, but isn't he sitting in such a pleasant little nook with my high-end Halloween gallery wall? Remember to hit the thumbs up if you liked this video, and join me again next week as I continue my Halloween crafting series, and I'll see you next time. Bye!